So we believe that the new environmental land management scheme will reward farmers for collaboration. It's basically a group of farmers working together on a landscape scale to achieve much more in terms of the environment than they could do individually. It's about helping each other address problems that they couldn't solve by themselves. So typically you have an advisor in the centre, what we call a facilitator, who will help those farmers work together to address their priorities, to do the work that they would like to do, while supported by things like agri-environment and various other training providers and funding sources. Farmers must remain in the driving seat at all times throughout this project. It is a bottom-up, grassroots, farmer-owned concept, and that's the only way it works. If we start to have too much influence on the farmers, too much guidance, start to co-opt the project, then it loses that ownership. And when it comes from the heart, that's what really drives someone. They have to have total belief in that idea and that plan to make it happen. In the last 3 years, as and when stewardship agreements have come up for renewal, we've been able to design new habitat links across landscapes to join up remaining isolated pieces of chalk downland. So about 75 hectares of new habitat has gone into our cluster in the last 3 years. So hopefully we've enabled wildlife to get around the landscape much more easily and provide new resources for them. So that's a tremendous achievement that the farmers have done. In terms of agri-environment schemes, I think the government have consulted really well on that. They understand that if they don't get it right this time, then very few people will probably enter agri-environment ever again. So there's a tremendous opportunity now to redesign the new agri-environment scheme so that it works really well for land managers and enables them to do what they want to do to conserve and protect the natural environment. I think farmers will be rewarded for collaboration at multiple levels in the new scheme, and that's really important because if we're going to address the big challenges ahead, we need to be working bigger, better and more joined up. One of the core principles of a cluster is trust, that trust between their advisor and between each member of the group. And the Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust feels strongly that the farmers should be able to choose their own source of advice. That's very important so that we can best tailor that advice to the direction of the group. If it's a group that's focused on improving their local river, they might want some expertise on water management and catchment management. If they have wildlife aims, they might want a FWAG advisor, for example. So it's really important that they choose who they want to be involved with the project and that they retain ownership and a good relationship with that person. Wildlife and environmental priorities can be delivered alongside a profitable business. The Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust have shown that time and time again with our demonstration farms in Lossington and in Auchnair in Scotland. So I believe it absolutely can be done, and it is very important that it is done on a wide scale, not just odd farms delivering great examples. We need everyone to be farming holistically and doing all they can.